Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And good morning. It is Coffee Ann on ON, AM, and FM on what used to be the last day of February, but not this year. We have one more day of February tomorrow. It is February 28th. I'm Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us. And we go around the Coffee Ann table. We'll say hi to Tim Draper from Navigant Credit Union.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you there, Tim. Melissa Smith from the St. Antoine Communities has rejoined us. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning.
And John Ward.
Good
City
morning.
Council
I hope
President.
everybody's enjoying this fine spring weather in the dead of winter.
Well, it's going to get cold tomorrow.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Back to
missed that.
freezing
Oh.
tomorrow.
A brief
It's-
reprieve.
It's February. It's wicked cold.
Sunday was a little confusing. Did you not sit in your house and then see how sunny it was outside and think,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to go outside
Yes,
in
I
my
know.
deck and you go out and it's freezing.
I went,
oh, the sun
I went
was-
outside to golf yesterday and
You
didn't even wear a
did.
jacket.
I bet.
Wow, cool.
Oh, retirement life,
But,
huh?
Well, it's time for our first message from Melissa and the St. Antoine Communities. So you're up, Melissa.
Yep. So for those of you that don't know a lot about St. Antoine Community, we are a large long-term care campus located in North Smithfield, and we're on the line of Blackstone, Mass. and Woonsocket. And on our property, we offer an expansive continuum of services that range from assisted living to short and long-term skill care. We have a state-of-the-art rehab center, a private hospice suite, as well as a large secured memory care unit. And the two buildings on our property are the Villa at St. Antoine, which is our 76-apartment assisted living facility, and the Residence at St. Antoine, which is our 180-bed short and long-term skilled care facility. So if you're presently at a crossroads with your loved one and trying to determine when is the right time to seek more help and support, I encourage you to reach out to me. I'd be happy to walk you through your options. You can call me at 401-767-3500 or email me at msmith@santantoine.net.
All right, Melissa, thank you very much. John, you have a message that was sent to you.
I was listening to Melissa and I was thinking one day she should say, how'd that opening go? For those of you that don't know about St. Antoine Community, what's the matter with you?
That's the following
What is
statement.
wrong with you?
I have been
Aren't
here
you a
for
regular
3 years.
listener? I know. At some point, I really, you have to kind of do the generic because you don't know if there's new listeners, and I want to make sure
Right.
we're covering all the points, but it is a little scripted for the first message.
sorry.
Second's always a surprise. so
To everybody.
You got a message in about a happy birthday.
Oh,
They want to say hi to.
I have to open the phone. Yes.
I thought it was open.
Open the phone.
Good friend who works over at Beef Barn said, "Would you, when you're on ON, would you wish our coworker Roger Brancho a happy 90th birthday?"
90th birthday. Woohoo.
90.
We had
See
bells,
the,
we'd ring
see the
them.
original owner?
Such
No.
a young man. I'm sure he was there when the first one was built.
I
but,
bet. Okay.
Happy
Good for him.
birthday,
That's
Roger.
a great run.
All right. Let's see. I don't know if Tim or Melissa heard this, but John, you could be in trouble in your race for the mayor's
Already?
seat.
Oh, I heard.
Already?
Another one has thrown their hat into the ring.
Uh-oh.
Yep,
So we
I
got
know.
Bob Phillips.
Yep.
We got John Ward.
Yep.
And Michael
Michael
Disney is running for mayor.
I'm all ears.
So
Had you heard?
I have.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have. But he perpetually runs for something.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, my brother
good for him.
Tom called me because he goes on a rant about unnecessary primary elections and such. And I said, before you start your complaint and
Yep.
start publishing things, just remember that there could be General Assembly primaries that same day. There could be a council primary that same day. So it's probably going to happen anyway. So
Yeah.
why not?
Well, all right then. Could they have moved the primary, which is coming up on March
Well, we match up.
5th? You
No,
match
no.
up with Super Tuesday,
No.
but the Rhode Island primary is in April.
It's in April, yes.
Yeah.
But that's for the presidential.
Right.
It's called the presidential preference primary.
Well, why
It's
couldn't
not
that have
even
been moved to March?
presidential primary election.
Why couldn't that have been moved to March and do it all in one day? You could be part of Super
I'm-
Tuesday.
I'm going to. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't-
okay.
I'm going to guess that
Ooh, you
they.
stumped
That's a
him.
first.
There's
Martin
got to be
Stone.
There's got to be some General Assembly impact reason, but it could be nothing more than that's when they want to do it too. I don't know.
All right, I'm just thinking of the money. Try to save,
Well, why?
Logical.
Why?
I
Why am I
don't
trying
think
to
it's
save
two
money?
elections. Is it
Save
two
money.
elections?
How would it save money?
Well,
if
you
do,
got the- you got-
if you do the presidential preference primary in March or April,
No.
you're doing it this anyway.
No, but there's two elections. You got the
Set up
Woonsocket
voting
City
machines
Council
for 2
Well,
times.
that's-
in March,
yeah, well.
and then you got to do the presidential primary in
It's
April.
Yes, but our council
Move it all together.
election is only for Woonsocket. It's not for the state. Presidential primary is for the whole state.
Oh, then move the Woonsocket election to April.
Oh, no, that's not how the law works. The law says you
Then
have
move the
to-
primary
it
back
says,
to
It
March.
says you have to have the election so
Yeah,
many,
so many
days,
days, yeah.
after the vacancy occurs.
Comma,
Coincide-
unless
or
there's a
coincide with the
presidential primary.
election.
All
Sounds to
right.
me like that's a good review process for somebody
There we
out
go.
there.
Melissa, how was you went on vacation last week because it was school vacation?
Did I?
I don't know. You weren't here.
I wasn't
so
here.
I assumed you were on vacation. Did you? Maybe we should just move on. Not a good time.
I think every once in a while I say to myself, I just need a staycation, right? The kids are going to be off.
right.
Let's not go anywhere. I'll just be available to cart them around or do whatever. Forgetting I have a driver in the house now too, but just feeling like it's the right thing to do as a mom. Take some time off with your kids. I ended up working most of the week, actually.
No,
Yeah,
really?
I did most of the week. We have I'll be talking more about it in my second message, but we have a new unit about to open, and it's just time pressing stuff that needed to get done, and I work so close to the campus. I just
Went on in.
kids sleep till 10 or 11 anyways, so it
Yeah.
was one of those. I wake up at 4.
Jog over in the
Might as
morning?
well just
on in,
that's
huh?
kinda
You wake
what
up
it
at
was.
4?
Wake up at 4 every day.
Oh my God! All you early risers.
I don't know that'll ever change either. I have to say, I really enjoy. I mean, it'll change.
Have you
I'm
always
sure.
been up early like
No, this has been like for the last 5 or 6 years. My husband started it. It's sort of this like
Even on the weekends?
because you're just built in time clock. But
Yeah.
we
right.
work out early. If I don't do it early, it won't
won't do
happen
it.
at all, right? So because life is just so crazy and busy. But also, I've just gotten used to my time with the dog, cup of coffee
boy.
on the couch, watch a little news, do some emails.
So what time do you go to bed at night?
You mean fall asleep on the couch for my first
Oh, that's
my
Pre-
first bedtime?
We call that
nap
pre-sleeping.
before the sleeping.
Yeah, that's usually. I mean, it depends if it's sports season with the kids. You're not even getting home or having dinner
Oh,
and
right.
whatever.
Let's say
else.
it's a
Let's say
normal
it's
night.
average like 8:00.
Okay.
Crawl off the couch at 9, go upstairs, brush my
right.
teeth, and
And
just
hit the
continue
hay.
on.
Wow.
Straight
Continue
till
the
4.
sleeping.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Well, I'm glad you had a
I'm
good time
jealous of
last
that.
week.
I know. No, there was some fun stuff. I will share for those moms out there listening, if there's any moms out there listening that have kids in high school or specifically teenage girls. We went prom gown shopping, which
Oh, my daughter's already done that.
good God, this is junior prom, so it feels different. Can't just be like a semi-formal dress. Had to literally go to special stores, boutiques, that's what they call them, and lost my right and left arm in the process. It is so ridiculously, obnoxiously expensive. And most of the kids convince their parents will pay for half if they're working, that kind of thing. So think about that as a parent. Pay for half isn't $100 dress and they're throwing $50 in. It's hundreds to pitch in
$400
towards a
dress and-
$500, $600, $700, $800 dress, which
a
was
wedding
not
gown.
happening. More than my wedding dress. My wedding dress was
Okay.
$280.
Just for contrast, I'll throw in there that I heard the mayor yesterday speaking on the other station, and it's the same experience I had when I went to Mount St. Charles. The tuition was so high that the only way the family could afford to send us is if we paid half of our tuition, $300
Isn't it? But let's really think about this. And then for what you
for a full year.
half the
St.
time, I
Charles.
will say the
As
dads aren't
opposed
even
to
aware.
a dress.
Yeah,
23,
in talking to my
2024.
fellow moms, the dads involved or other parents involved in the household are not aware, right? This is something you slip under the radar. But the other thing that's awful that's happening is they buy those that are willing to buy the $500, $600, $700 dresses, which was not something I was willing to do. Are putting it up on Facebook Marketplace the day after
Yeah,
the
sure.
dance.
Gotta get that money
you know
back,
what,
yeah.
there's got to be a market for like
There is.
we as a business will buy your dress back and then we'll put all the sizes together, we'll clean it, and then we'll get it.
Yes.
And then
Have a
we'll resell it.
consignment section within the store.
There's consignment stores. that
There's
do
someone
that.
in Boston
are.
that does that every year.
But then you've got everybody, like even when I looked on Facebook Marketplace, because my daughter was open to that. I mean, you don't know the brand names, but there's like Giovanni and all these other dresses.
Of course.
There's people selling them. You can search by the dress name and everything, the
can you?
size. However, even if you're buying a size 6 or a size 8 and you're altering it to your daughter, like
all
you can't
different.
just buy it off the. So it's just frustrating, and you're up against a wall. And we did not spend what others spent, and I feel
Oh,
good
well,
about
good.
that.
All
And our
right.
dress was very modest compared to what was out
Oh
there
yeah,
too.
because that's some of the other stuff. Is
You
what
should
they look
see
like.
Oh,
the
I've
stuff
seen-
that's out
I've
there.
seen
The
some of the
legs, the backs,
dresses.
the tops. It's just
As a
woo.
parent, nope.
So
Yes.
it's I was
course,
like
that's easy for
telling
me to say now.
Melissa because I have a daughter that's 2 years older than hers. This was the new one.
Yeah.
I said, where? I said, I asked my wife, where's my wife? She went out with her friends to go shopping. Yeah, what are they shopping for? Bras.
Oh,
So it was the first trip with just the girls,
Yeah.
not their moms, all traipsing off. It's the inaugural visit to Victoria's Secret.
oh, semi-annual sale.
It must be.
It's that time of year.
And it sticker shock for my daughter.
Yeah.
How much
That
they
is such a
cost.
rip-off of a store. Don't go there. That's just,
Wow.
just such a
kill
name
the
brand thing.
account.
It
Create
just,
a great brand and you pay for that.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
So,
The value of-
but watch, your daughter's
learn
going to
the
come in
value
about a
of
couple of
Kohl's
years.
Cash.
A Kohl's Cash. I love Kohl's Cash.
But she'll be coming. Yeah. Mom, me and the girls, we're going to Victoria's Secret.
That
Knock
was a
yourself
joke.
out.
That was a joke that floated out of my mouth when I was paying for the dress. I was like, I've got $40 in
Kohl's
Kohl's cash,
Cash.
and I use this. I'm like, I'll give it to you personally if you give me a discount. Oh yeah, no.
All right. Well, yesterday morning, Tuesday morning, we had gunshots here in the city
Yes. I
over
heard.
on Wood Avenue.
Yikes.
5 to 10 shots fired at the third floor of a home on Wood Avenue. No one was hit. No one was hurt. But there are no suspects at this time.
I don't
And
get
it
it.
happened at
So
very
from the-
early in the morning at
From the street?
4:25.
Like somebody
Yes.
from the street
Street
shot
up.
up at the third floor?
Yeah.
That's
Did they-
scary.
They didn't say it was from a car or if they were just walking or what, but they shot at the third floor, so they're looking for something
Yeah,
specific.
they must have
scare
been,
someone
it
in
was-
there.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was
And,
to send
Mel-
a message
and
to somebody.
Melissa gets up at 4 in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
I'll start
What are you doing?
patrolling.
What are you doing at
I,
4:25?
you know me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm working
Oh,
out.
yeah.
I'm
Roaming
working
the
out.
streets.
Yeah.
You know, I know what I was doing at 4:25.
Sleeping.
So
No,
What are you
No.
doing at 4 a.m.?
going to the bathroom.
for the
You know, that's actually true.
for the second or third time.
As the old,
No, just the one.
as the old
Just one,
guys in the
okay.
room.
So we did have the shots fired. Police are looking into that, and the fire at the house in Manville.
Yeah.
They've have you heard? They have determined it was discarded smoking materials.
What's interesting is,
And from what I hear, is it was a cigarette.
as I learned, one of the guys in my LRI class owned that building. Was the
Landlord?
landlord.
Wow.
And he wrote this really actually kind of well thought out. Hey, listen, if you're a property owner out there and this happens because it just happened to me today, and he showed pictures of it. I went,
Oh yeah, the
I
house
know,
was
I know
engulfed.
that. I know Nick, and I know this whole thing. And he just had like 7 or 8. Hey, listen, call your insurance company, call your attorney, make sure everybody's okay. Actually, make sure everybody was okay was at the first one. And then he went down the list of all the things that you should do as a landlord in the event something like this happens. He said, and be empathetic.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like, boy, it's nice that there's a landlord out there that gives it. You know,
Are you allowed to make a private residence a non-smoking residence?
Ooh, I don't know. You mean like because
Well, I know the housing
I don't
authority
know.
has designated their apartments as smoke-free
yeah.
for the elderly high-rises.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah,
can
though,
you can
that's-
designate it, but if somebody comes in and does it anyway, what do you have recourse
don't
against
know.
them? I wonder.
Don't know.
Well, it depends if your occupant
Yeah, I mean,
has oxygen use
Test,
or.
test the limits of that castle doctrine. Besides shooting somebody that comes in.
Oh,
So there was one woman hurt because she had to jump from
Yeah.
the third floor.
Window, yeah.
They found a mattress that was just nearby. Okay, land on the mattress, but she still had a severe leg injury. Now it's yesterday was just a leg injury.
yeah.
Now it's a severe leg injury. So she must have busted a
probably.
bone when she
When you
when she
drop from the
landed.
third floor, that's
That's
Yeah.
awful.
Even if you were landing in something the firefighters were holding to catch you, if you land
That-
feet first,
the
you're
net-
going to
oh, yeah.
be in,
Right.
you're going to be in
Jam
trouble.
Yeah.
something.
Right.
Mm.
So,
But it's tough to have enough faith to lay your back out.
right.
Fall that way.
yeah.
I hope I hit the mattress.
That's a mental thing. I'm not sure if
Right,
I
yeah.
could.
Tim,
do.
you might remember.
3 floors.
If
you
I
can
were
do
on
it.
fire, I'm not sure I could do that.
Tim, you might remember this. Tim and I were volunteer firefighters in North Cumberland many years ago.
Moons ago, yeah.
And I was told by one of the firefighters because the objective, if you were in Cumberland as a firefighter, was to get to Providence.
Yeah.
And
That's what
because
you wanted to do.
you got more money. But one of them told me one of the tests to go to Providence is you had to go to their 6th floor
Tower.
building
Yep.
and jump
Jump.
off
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
into the
Into
net.
the net.
And you had 2 chances.
Right.
If you got up there the first time and said, no,
No.
okay, fine, come on down. If you get up there the second time and don't do it,
Yep,
it's
you're-
goodbye.
You're out.
You know, because you have to
You
know.
can't even stop to
we-
think about
No.
it in the.
No, we had
the,
a
the reasoning is you have to know what it's like for real people
For the fear.
to jump.
The
They
fear factor.
you have to know what that fear is.
Right.
Well,
And I
it
said-
would
It's like
be
getting
easy-
tased.
But
Yeah.
it would be easier for you if they threw gasoline on your back and lit you on fire.
Yeah, it's
But
a
we
much
had
bigger
we
choice.
had a 5-story tower down at the station on Social Street, Clinton Street, the corner of Elm Street, where the Housing Authority office is. They used to have a tower there that they could practice
Practice on.
jumping.
I remember that.
And frankly, I treat it like amusement rides. Watch the guy right before you.
Yeah. Sorry. Do what they do.
He jumps.
do.
He gets out. He's fine.
He's fine.
Okay,
Splash
do
wheel,
it. Go
okay, too.
now before you change your mind.
Right. Right.
And then just
it's
take
the
that
fear of doing
leap
it the
of
first
faith,
time.
as it
Oh,
were.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
It
the
is,
fear
a,
of doing
it
it
is
the
a leap
first
of
time.
faith. And will they catch me? And will I hit the net? And will they be able to hold me?
That's how I go on those mega coasters. Is I just watch the people ahead of me.
Well, they're okay.
Oh yeah, they came off alive.
So
Well,
that should be
let's
all
give
right.
it a try.
They may be puking everywhere, but
Well,
they
and
came
you
off
also have
alive.
to see how long those rides last. So then you're like, okay, it's 90 seconds in
Well, some of
total.
them-
So you just close your eyes and
Some of the
And
newer
go.
ones actually last
Pretty
longer.
long.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
Long.
2 minutes
so
or
you just
so.
can't
black
go on
out,
anymore.
right?
I
You
feel
just
bad.
close your eyes and you
then-
black
Kids
out.
trying to drag me on.
Then you hear the stories about the one down at King's Dominion where you get on it and you do a twist this way and then you do a twist this way and you're going so fast they say you black out for a second.
Yeah.
And you
right.
do.
Or snap your
You
neck.
do. Your eyes sort of go,
Whoa.
and it just sort of haze over, and then all of a sudden you're going forward again.
I always laugh because
Yikes.
is it Rock and Roller Coaster in
Oh, Disney.
Disney
Rock
Hollywood?
and Roll
yeah, yeah.
Express. or
So
something.
last time I
That's-
went to Disney years ago now, the girls were of the age they wanted to do everything daredevilish, and that's not in my wheelhouse. I'm not a big roller coaster person, but I have to do it, right? I got to be the cool mom, and this is a once in a lifetime. I can close my eyes and manage this. I remember coming off it, or we weren't even off it. We were still sitting about to. They have you sit for a few
Disembark,
minutes
yeah.
waiting to come off the ride. And I said, that wasn't that bad. That was pretty great. And then I heard someone in front of me say, like, my favorite part was going backwards. And I'm like, we went backwards? I had no idea.
I don't think that coaster goes backwards.
It went back.
Everest
It
goes
did. My
backwards.
kids said it
Everest
went
goes-
backwards.
Everest goes back.
Everest
goes
goes
I
backwards.
had no idea. I closed my eyes the whole time.
Well, there you go.
And it was in the black. But they said backwards, and it was Rock and Roller Coaster.
I think they were wrong.
The
Yeah.
They were
it's
wrong. It
Everest,
does not
and
go
now
on.
the
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Goes
Guardians of the
backwards.
Galaxy.
Well,
That
wasn't
was the
open
pain.
yet
That
when
was
I
the one I was
went.
like, oh, I'm glad I did it, but boy, I'll never
and
do it
then
again.
I remind people never go on if you're not feeling well.
Yep.
But the nice part about rock and roll is like the Hulk at Universal, it ejects you
great.
out.
Yeah, it's
at
the,
Yeah.
it's
start.
the
Oh, I love a
initial
launch
shot.
coaster.
And that was
You're
when
in it, you can't
when we
even-
first went to Universal Studios with the kids when they were young. We got on that Hulk ride and just sitting there, and you're wondering, okay, it's starting like this. You're expecting it's
click,
just gonna
click,
Yeah.
click, click,
click,
click,
click,
click.
click.
I
thing.
hate
No,
those
no,
rides.
it's like, and all of a sudden it's like, whoosh, you're up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
60
first thing it
miles
does when
an
it
hour.
comes out is turn.
Turn.
It's
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee Aid program. So, Melissa, time for a second message from the St. Antoine communities.
So yeah, I've teased it out there the last couple of weeks that we are opening a new unit actually at St. Antoine Community. I'm just meeting the need in the northern part of Rhode Island to be able to provide a state-of-the-art 24-suite memory care assisted living unit with Medicaid waiver option. It's no secret that healthcare is extremely expensive and difficult to afford for even the basic level of care. But memory care is just exceptionally expensive and costly given the specialty of the care that needs to be provided. So to be able to offer that in this part of the state and meet the needs of people who otherwise couldn't afford that support when they need it the most, I'm pretty excited for this unit to open. So I hadn't really been able to throw a date on the calendar. We're still waiting to get an exact date. We're hoping for the 1st of June. I'm sure you can all relate to ordering furniture these days, and getting that piece taken care of. We're finalizing the punch list with the contractors this week. But the exciting part of my announcement is we finally have a name. So I've been talking about it without a name, and that's been very hard for me to do in my day-to-day. But it's going to be called Primrose Lane Memory Care Assisted Living at St. Antoine Community. So I can finally put some materials together and get that out there and give a little visual to it. So that'll be part of my little speech next week. So stay tuned for
Walking
more
down the
information. And if you
Primrose Lane.
know someone in need, get on the waiting list. I don't have a lot of spots left. Like I said, it's 24 suites, but they're going very quickly, and that list, which is great for me. But yeah, so give me a call if you need me.
All right, thanks, Melissa. More of the Coffee Aid program is coming your way. Please stay tuned.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
We're always here for you. ON Radio.
And it's Coffee In on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Tim Draper, Melissa Smith. John Ward is here. Everything okay in the city, John? You had another meeting on Monday. Did
We
that
had
go
another
all right?
meeting on Monday, and good news came of it. I don't
what?
know if anybody has informed you or reported it to you yet, but the animal shelter will be sited at the water treatment plant on Manville Road. There's 2.5 acres of land, and the contract's been awarded, and they'll be tearing down that facility shortly. Speaking of June 1st, we hope that by June 1st we will already have a design plan and be able to go to bid, and close to that time have the contractor be ready to go in, mobilize, get started on the construction and get it done. So
Oh, great.
that was selected to be the site. We've already set aside, projected $1.5 million. So Monday's meeting will have an ordinance to table for the next meeting, but we'll allocate $1.5 million of ARPA funds to do this, and it'll be right along the bike path. So hopefully part of the design plan will include pushing that fence back a little bit so you can widen the path out to the full size along that stretch. And convenient, I guess we'll have the dog kennels facing the river so that the dogs
dogs have a
aren't
view.
barking out into the neighborhood.
Right.
I was
okay.
just going to say the opposite, actually. So Slater Park has a dog shelter
Yes,
up
they
there,
do.
right, which is where I rescued my little Brody. In talking to the animal control officer there, actually, the discussion was about the fact that the cages were located like on a visible side of
Right.
kids' playground and whatnot. Kids would come over to the fence line, interact with the dogs when they were let outside for the day. But it was great advertising. Like, it was a great way to promote.
Well, I'm not saying they can't have the play area outside on that side towards the bike path, but I think for the time where they're just, out, where they may interact and make noise, it's just there are 3 houses right across the street,
Oh,
and so
Okay.
Have you heard from those neighbors?
no,
Okay.
no, I don't think it's going to be that bad. It's not. I mean, I have neighbors with dogs, and they get outside and they bark. And if you're in the house, you don't
But
really
there's
hear
always
them.
someone that, no, I don't want it. Just because.
Of course there is.
I know. So I just didn't know if you've
Matter of
heard
fact,
from
that
them
was
yet.
the first comment I got from somebody
there you go.
that doesn't even live in the neighborhood,
And they
and said,
didn't like it.
"What about the neighbors? And then they're
Yeah.
going to complain." Like,
Well,
some people complain about everything.
yeah.
But yeah, we've cited it. There's
Okay.
very few places where you can put it that it's convenient. But the biggest problem with putting it inside Rivers Edge Park was because of the fact that it was so far off the street. It would have required keeping that gate open or putting on an electronic gate that's off of a pass system for somebody to get in at night. They were fearful of vandalism and harassing the animals and such as that for people. And the bike path is open all the time, even though it's not supposed to be open at night. It's accessible, so it would be hard to manage security there. And
Okay.
so the police department chimed in with their concerns and thought this was a better place, and so that's where it's going to go. And we'll be taking care of finishing that up.
So you said
All
it's
right.
the water treatment plant. So
Old
that's
water treatment plant.
That's the one that has the 3 big tanks that are
Right.
on
Right,
Maple Road
yes.
now. Those are coming down.
Those are coming down. The building that's behind, in the middle of them, is coming down. Everything. It's going to be cleared down to bare soil.
Yep. Okay. And that's going to happen in short order.
Well,
While you wait for
the
design
contract
for the
was
other
awarded
thing?
actually last fall, but they had to go through a whole bunch of regulatory stuff because the office building has a lot of asbestos in it, but or some, whether it's asbestos, I guess. And so they had to do what they had to do to get permission and timing to do that. And from what I understand, when they come in to do this and they take that out of there, then the tanks are pretty easy. I'm told there's this big claw that comes in and just sort of cuts into it, and if you got enough hydraulic power, you just tear it to shreds and pull it away. There's some underground, and the Public Works Director said he's going to be working on downsizing the water line because there's a 30-inch water line coming out of there that was feeding into the tanks at the top of the hill. They'll turn that into a standard 4 or 6-inch water line and a sewer line going out of there. They'll do all the utility work underground as they wait for it and prepare for it. And as I said, I'm hoping, because they know we're going to have just a flat piece of soil there when it's done, the architect should be able to plan how to lay out the structure and basically start doing the plans so that we can actually go to bid before that demolition is complete. And that would allow for a contractor to pre-order materials. That could allow for them to move up their lead times, and hopefully when they finally finish the demolition, the land gets leveled, the Public Works Department comes in and puts in some excess gravel we have from Cass Park and some loam, and then they can start building, hopefully very quickly after that's
great.
done.
So they're going to knock down the tanks, but they're so pleasant to look at.
They should have painted them like they do in Boston, like the gas tank in Boston.
They should have
The
like
rainbow stripes on it.
that would be
Face
cool.
in the side
Little
of the-
rainbow thing going there.
They started tearing down Diamond Hill too.
Did they?
Yeah, they put the cage around the old ski lodge,
Yeah.
and they're starting to do the site work. Took a bunch of trees down in the area, and the building I think is coming down starting. Could be today.
Is the frog and the snake and the turtle okay with
All
everything?
gonna be gone.
Oh wow.
I do want to do a one-day early promotion of the Woonsocket, not the Woonsocket Call, of the not the Woonsocket Call, the Call-in Times, because they're affiliated with the Washington Post. They pick up a lot of articles and opinion columns, and Megan McArdle is a columnist for the Post, and they printed her comments regarding AI and Google's AI. Have you seen the stories about Google's AI?
No.
You've seen these? Oh, these are funny. They're funny, but they're tragic.
Funny but scary.
If you
at the
ask,
same
if
time?
you ask, well, Google's AI allows you to ask for it to produce an image of something.
Yeah.
Well, if you asked it to produce an image of the Pope, in one case it produced an image of a black female Pope, because it's trying to represent diversity. And somebody else asked for an image of Nazi soldiers, and one was Asian, and one was black, and one was just amazing. One was Middle Eastern, and one was white. But it didn't. Apparently, there's so much built-in bias into this product that the imaging portion of it, Google took right off the market because they're not using it. They shut it down. And she makes a good point, and it's specific to Google. It's not ChatGPT, but she thinks that they may have performed a public service by making explicit the implicit rules that recently have seemed to govern a great deal of decision-making in large swaths of tech, education, and media sections. It's generally safe to punch right, but rarely to punch left. Treat left-leaning sources as neutral, right-leaning sources as biased and controversial. Contextualize left-wing transgression while condemning right-coded ones. Fiscal conservatism is tolerable, but social conservatism is beyond the pale. Diversity applies to race, sex, ethnicity, and gender identity, not viewpoint, religiosity, social class, or educational attainment.
Is that a
And
word?
she's right. Basically,
Religiosity?
that defines Google and how they go about doing things. And they always would deny it.
Yeah.
And then they produce this product, and it is so clearly,
Yeah.
if you asked for, somebody asked to compare, I forget what it was, somebody to Hitler, and they basically called I think it was a Republican governor or Secretary of State. They said that they said worse things about the Republican than they did about Hitler, because they tried to contextualize Hitler within some framework of not so bad, but this guy's Republican bad,
So he's worse.
and so they have to rethink how they go about doing business. But it's a very interesting read, and it's very interesting that Google got caught doing this. And basically it has to do with whoever was doing the programming for this software.
All right. We're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program. Time for the weather forecast being brought to you by Unbound.org.
A rainy day with patchy fog and a high of 57. The wind will be the feature of our weather today as the winds will gust up to over 50 miles per hour from the south. New precipitation amounts today, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch is possible. Tonight, rain showers till about 2 a.m., then ending as snow between 2 and 5 a.m. Patchy fog again tonight, overnight low of 27. Really breezy and blustery with those winds gusting up over 50 miles an hour again. Little or no snow accumulation is expected. Thursday's weather, mostly sunny, high of 33 and blustery with winds from the west over 45 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and 46. Saturday, mostly cloudy, 53 with a 40% chance of rain. Sunday, mostly cloudy and 54 with a 30% chance of rain. Monday, mostly cloudy and 52 with a 50% chance of rain. And on Tuesday, cloudy and 52 with a 40% chance of rain.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, where we do have clouds and some light rain and 53 degrees. Girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
A message from the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street, at the corner of Clinton and Cumberland Streets here in Woonsocket. The Carew Investment Group offers you personal management of investment accounts. Depending on what you're looking for, whether it be to enhance your current income, a 401k rollover, or retirement income, we'll put together a plan for you. We focus on using quality dividend-paying stocks of companies that you know, investment quality bonds, exchange-traded funds, and use the advantages offered by IRAs. You can contact Paul or Ed at the Carew Investment Group anytime for a free no-obligation portfolio review at 765-8880. Our office is at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket, and our telephone number again is 765-8880. You can also email Ed at ed@carewinvestmentgroup.com or visit the website at www.carewinvestmentgroup.com. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on My Morning Sports Reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan, along with John Ward, Melissa Smith, and Tim Draper. And Tim, time for a first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Well, Joe, we're going to talk about our senior safeguard program that's coming up here on March 14th over at the Elks Lodge. First of all, I've decided that I don't think I like the name Senior Safeguard.
All
It's a
right.
program that we've kind of adopted.
I got my invitation.
Excellent.
I did too.
All right. Did you sign up? That's the question. I'm okay with the invitation.
I have personal connections. I asked them to sign me up.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But it really is a program that's designed for everybody. It's not just seniors. It's caregivers. It's man, we are seeing people, in their 30s getting scammed because the scammers and the fraudsters are just so good at what they do. So what we've got is we've assembled a panel of experts. We've got from the Rhode Island State Police Financial Crimes Unit, the Attorney General's office. I have somebody from AARP that's going to be there. Our Chief Director of Security at the credit union is going to be there. Tom Oates, Chief Oates from Woonsocket will be on the panel. We're going to show you what a scam looks like, how it happens and unfolds. And then we're going to let the panel react to some questions that we're going to have. And we'll talk to people about how to recognize the problem, how to try to stop the problem, how to protect yourself if you get victimized by one of these fraudsters. What are the steps you can take to it? And I got some good news this week. The powers that be have allowed me to offer lunch to the people who were at the seminar. So, if you want a lunch and you want to come and listen to about an hour and a half worth of some very informative topics that may save you thousands and thousands of dollars, then please come to see us. You can sign up by calling Amanda LaRose at 233-3108. That's 233-3108. Or you can email ce@navigantcu.org. That is C, Charlie, E as in Edward, navigantcu.org.
All right, there, Tim. Things going on in Rhode Island, Tim. You may have noticed this at the credit union, but housing prices in Rhode Island have gone up dramatically.
No,
And
they have?
And supply is short.
Right.
We had
That
to do-
is
we
that
did-
is
we did a
a
study on this.
inventory.
Yeah.
that is a truth right there.
The median price tag at a single-family home in Rhode Island is $430,000.
Right. And you know, what's the solution to the problem? That's what
Well,
everybody's up to,
no,
right? You can't. It's an inventory problem.
Yep.
There's just not enough housing, and the fewer houses that are on the market that drives the price up because people want to buy them. There's a house in Central Falls, a 3-family house for $800,000,
Wow.
and I'm thinking to myself, somebody's going to buy that.
The one I raised my kids in the first few years just sold a couple of months ago right here in Woonsocket for $600,000.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. That's one of the problems anyway. There's a number of them, but that's one of them. But the solution isn't, well, just build more houses, because that's not easy either.
No,
Because the cities and towns who have certain minimum affordable housing regulations, 10%, right? Isn't that the number, John, for
The
the cities and
10%
towns?
is the number, yes.
Right. There's towns that aren't even close to 6 or 5. And the way they've set their zoning laws up, there's no way for builders to build
Well, yeah,
anything.
Didn't Cumberland set theirs as a 2-acre
2-acre minimum zone, 100%.
Wow.
Guilty
And
as charged.
On top of that, their government has been declaring everything open space
Right?
that's not buildable at all for anything.
Right.
Except maybe, oh no, they'll kill the beavers too because they don't like beaver dams. So there's either no space left or no space that's buildable.
Right.
But there's also the problem. There was an article about the old 3-family houses that are all over the cities
Yep.
and towns even, like even in Valley Falls and Central Falls, but other parts of Lincoln and such. And basically, developers would say we can't build 3 or 4 unit houses because the fire codes got so strict back after the fire, the nightclub fire, that it becomes unaffordable. Or if you can't afford to build it, the rents you have to charge make it not affordable housing.
Right.
Right.
So
And that person that bought your family's house at $600,000 is going to have to charge crazy rent just to
Right.
pay the mortgage.
well,
Right.
and I know several people and have spoken with them who are landlords who have had tenants for many, many years.
Yep.
They're charging reasonable rents, and they are not raising the rents significantly. So they're still charging $700, $800 for a 2-bedroom apartment simply because they don't want to lose the tenant.
Right.
Because they know if they have to go out and get somebody, it's a crapshoot. And with
Yeah.
all the tenant protection laws
Yep.
on the books, if they get the wrong tenant, they could have a squatter.
Yep.
Yeah.
They could have
Can't get rid of
damaged apartments. They
Yeah.
could have a mess. Somebody that's not paying the rent. They'd have to go through eviction.
Yep.
All
Right.
kinds of problems. So strictly out of fear and the new construction being cost prohibitive because our state is over-regulated on hardwired smoke
Smoke
detectors,
detectors.
CO detectors, and then
Sprinkler
the fact
systems.
that you need a sprinkler system when you get up to a certain number of units, and it just becomes unaffordable. Or if you can afford it, nobody's going to pay that kind of rent.
And some of the solution to the problem is
so-
probably the renovations and the revitalizations of the old mill complexes. Right? I mean, Ann and Hope in Cumberland is going through
but
one of those processes.
There's only so many of those left. A lot of those,
Right. Have been,
a lot of those weren't torn down; they burned down.
Right.
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 Now, there's fewer homes on the market as well, and they say there's several factors for that, including older people are living longer, and they're not going to
Right.
St. Antoine, they're just staying in
Trying
their
to stay
house.
at their house.
Staying in
Right.
the house. Yes.
Millennials starting families, and more people are just opting to live alone, which is
Well, there's
driving a greater housing demand.
tremendous support for community services to allow seniors to age in place at home. So I think there's also
I'm sure it's only a small factor, but a contributing factor is, and I know some people who are not married, they each own a house, and neither of them is moving into the other one's house, and they're not getting married. because they're tied in with some pension system that if they get married again, they sacrifice their survivor benefit and they would lose it.
Yeah.
There's so many configurations on pension structures
Right.
that you can actually lose money if you get married. So you don't get married, you live in your own house, and you get together and you do sleepovers and you go out together and socialize and act like a married couple, but
Right.
you don't get married.
I'll just throw into the conversation as well. I think women today don't feel it's necessary to be married because they can manage a house on their own. Like women's perspective on home ownership has changed tremendously since.
Well, that and
The
there's
50s
many
and
that are
60s.
widows, and there's widowers around or divorced men who are more than happy to.
And then the other issue is the starter homes that are out there, which always have traditionally been sort of those 2 and 3 bedroom
Yeah.
ranch houses, right?
Yeah.
Single floor. You've got, people like my parents or that generation who started in that house, moved to the big colonial so they could raise their family and have bigger bedrooms and have more space, are saying, I can't climb the stairs to the bedroom anymore, so now I want to find that single family house. They sell the big colonial because it's paid off. They have a boatload of cash. They walk down they go down to the ranch house and overbid whatever they need to do, and then they rehabilitate the ranch house. Now it's a gorgeous ranch house for an older person who wants to live on one floor.
That's my
Well,
plan.
That's and that's that's the plan.
But you
That's what
feel
everybody-
bad
but
for
now there's
newlyweds.
no ranch housing that starter home
Right. Yeah.
for young people to get into.
Like
at a
you would
reasonable
actually be
price.
smart if you were that developer who purchased like, I don't know, 10, 20 acres of land and then built 4 or 5 ranches, brand new, state of the art, fancy pants ranches, because that's probably where the market's at. Because a lot of people are
Because they're going to
shifting.
sell for $500,000 and $600,000.
They will, but I have to say, I feel bad for these newlyweds. I have a lot
I
of
do.
younger cousins that are all like newly engaged and getting married, and 20 some odd years
She
ago when
said
I did,
all the baby boomers own them, and
Right.
they're not letting go of them.
Right.
that's true.
Wait
Yeah.
20 years.
Well, you know what the
I'm not letting go of
You
mine.
know,
I
no,
live
I'm
in
saying,
mine.
those of us over 65, we ain't going to be here 20 to 30 years from now.
Yep.
And there's going to be a glut of this single family starter homes that turned into really nice ranch houses. I mean, I know when we bought ours, you tore up the carpeting and it was like linoleum tile. The windows were all aluminum. The siding was aluminum.
Yep.
The interior walls were 2x3s. It was a basic, the most basic 1964 starter home. Probably sold for $6,000 or $7,000 when it was built.
Right.
Now it's got an assessed value up close to $400,000.
Right.
But we've changed things. We've changed the siding. We've fixed the interior. We took up all of that. It's got hardwoods. It's
Essentially
it's
rebuilt
turning
your
into
house.
a real more modern home. The kitchen was redesigned, so it's got more value. But when all of that happens and this population of elderly who are living in them start dying off, there's going to start to be a lot more of them, and that might fit well with the fact that so many young people are not marrying early, they're not having as many kids. It might work for them. Yeah. They might have a lot more single parents that could afford to, maybe not afford to buy them, but could buy them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or the government, like they always do, will subsidize it for them.
Well, I think the easy answer here is who's seen the movie Logan's Run?
See the what?
You're too young, Melissa.
Isn't that the one where they eliminate
The what?
people?
Logan's Run.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
a long time ago, but yes.
But you don't remember the premise of it?
They get rid of people, right?
Everyone dies at 30. There we go.
Yeah, solve the problem.
So it solves the problem.
Not really.
Have a nice life.
It doesn't really
Okay,
solve
well,
the problem.
Well, we can move it up. Well, I'm talking about all these people that are still living in their old
Yeah,
houses. Okay, if you're
population
60 or
control is what
65.
you're saying.
Well, it's not really population control. John, you've lived at your house long enough. Please die and go away so someone else can have your house.
Yeah, Soylent Green had a similar
That's
proposition.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's simple. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's time to take a break here on Coffee In. And Tim, time for a second message from Navigant Credit Union. We did get a note in, Tim, and they do want you to please repeat the time and date of the
Yes.
Navigant event next month.
Absolutely, we'll be happy to do that. It is Thursday, March 14th. That's March 14th at the Elks Lodge on Social Street in Woonsocket. And you can register with Amanda LaRose, one of my cohorts here that comes and fills in for me from time to time. And her phone number is 233-3108. or you can email her at CE, Charlie Edward, at navigantcu.org. So CE at navigantcu.org. And, we're excited about this program. It's the first one that we're launching. We're going to do it a few more times this year around the state. So come out and help us kick it off in style. And like I said, I got the okay to buy you a lunch if you register. Space is limited, though, so you want to do this fairly
What is it
quick.
limited to? Do you know how many people?
Well, we're kind of capping it off at 100, but
Okay.
if 100
That's actually a good.
if 120 people said they wanted to come, we'd make room for them. So, and the Elks Lodge can hold it. There's plenty of room there. But we're going to try to put tables around, like 8 seats at a table, so everybody's facing in the right direction.
What are you gonna
What are you
say?
laughing at?
Can we have a classic Milltown lunch and put out hard-boiled eggs and warm 8-ounce beers?
Oh no, we are not going to do that.
Gross.
We haven't worked on the menu. I'm sure it will be perfect sustenance.
You've never
for you.
been into a bar
It'll be rubber
next to a
chicken
mill, have you?
and
Rubber chicken, all right. And
The bars-
It'll be
Treatment
whatever
of,
the folks,
broccoli.
the good folks at the Elks
When I
Lodge
was
wanna put
younger,
out
every
for us.
time I'd be working in a mill and you'd go to the bar afterwards, there it was, the jar of, actually, no, it wasn't hard boiled, it was pickled eggs.
Pickled eggs.
The jar of pickled eggs.
Yep, beer. That's all you
The
need.
beer always seemed to be a little warm, like they didn't take care
I
of the
promise to
coolers
not
properly.
have pickled eggs.
All right. All right, more of the Coffee and program coming your way. Please stay tuned. Your body transformation begins when you stop into Positive Vibes Nutrition and see James and Nina. They offer nutritious shakes and teas, and they can do a free wellness evaluation for you. Visit the Facebook page of Positive Vibes Nutrition to see testimonials from people who are losing weight by following the plan they devised for you. Positive Vibes Nutrition, 1173 Social Street, Woonsocket, next to Loads of Fun Laundromat. And coming in early spring will be their second location, Soul Shine Nutrition, 585 Smithfield Road, North Smithfield, next door to Stop and Shop.
Hi, this is Tim Draper from Navigant Credit Union. I'm inviting you to an important discussion on how to safeguard you and your loved ones from financial fraud, exploitation, and cyber theft. Come join us at the Elks Lodge on Social Street on March 14th, 10 to 11:30 a.m., where we'll have a panel of experts discuss how to protect you and your finances. We'll show you what some scams look like. We'll talk about how to protect yourself and the things to look out for, and more importantly, what to do if you think you are a victim. Space is limited, so please call Amanda LaRose at 401-233-4700, or you can email her at alarose@navigantcu.org. Don't wait, space is limited.
Thanks, Tim. That email
That
is
email is incorrect. I will give you the new one. I mean, that's her personal email. I just don't want to
Give it one more time.
plug that up.
The real
It's
one.
CE at navigantcu.org. That actually is community engagement. It's our group folder. We'll all see it.
All right. Thanks there, Tim. All right. We talked a little earlier about Google and their AI
Yes.
situation. So there's another situation, and this is going to scare Melissa. And I like
I love.
stories.
I knew
I
immediately.
love
you were coming.
stories.
You already
Scared.
put
Just
me
look
on
at
the.
I love stories that
TV.
scare Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
Students at a middle school in Beverly Hills face disciplinary action for allegedly circulating AI-generated nudes of fellow students.
Oh my God.
Beverly Hills Unified School District Superintendent Dr. Michael Brady says school officials have swiftly launched an investigation. It allegedly happened at Beverly Vista Middle School, where the mother of one student claims many girls were targeted. She called the incidents frightening and a form of bullying that should be punished. She also says she wants the companies behind the AI technology to be held accountable. It is unclear how many students were victimized, how many were behind the acts, and whether any images were posted to social media.
It's tragic. That's awful.
I don't think they can't really post that to social. I guess they
Yeah,
can.
you can. And well, I'll just say also for the record, if you're not aware as a parent of kids in middle school, like not even AI generated photos are being shared. So like parents need to be this involved and advocating this hard because it's out of control. These are minors. These are little kids that if it's not AI generated, kids are taking selfies of themselves and
Anyway.
sharing them. Yep. And then other kids are exploiting them and using them in a bullying fashion. And it is actually happening. So don't be fooled to think that that's not happening. So this just makes it that much worse because
Sure.
this is even without consent.
And this is the only place. This is the only place that's been caught.
Yeah.
Is it
this has
happening
gotta
other
be.
places?
It has
Sure.
to be.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no doubt in my mind. I'm still shocked every time I hear a story about some kid I know's picture getting shared with another kid and how fast it spreads through the school. And every time it should be like a suspension, in my opinion, or expulsion.
Should
'Cause
they
I
go?
think
Should they
it's
go after the companies that's behind the AI technology? Are they responsible?
Probably. And I think they should also go after the kids and the parents of those kids that are sharing that
gonna
kind of
say,
an
all right,
image.
when did the
Well,
parents
they
have
want
any
to,
sort
but
of-
they.
Yeah, go
There's
read
still the
those.
investigation
Go read
part.
those terms and conditions the first time you open it and see if it doesn't protect their
Everything.
butts.
But there's
Yeah.
also that responsibility as a parent. Like, I'm in my kid's phone. Like, I don't care if they don't want me to be in their phone or not. I'm in their phone. And the parents that don't take the time to look in your kid's phone and
so
be aware of
lucky.
what they're doing.
There were no phones like that when my kids
Oh.
were that age.
And it is hard. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
we
say
had
it's
a little
easy.
bit of
You have to really dig in these phones. Like, I am not that tech savvy, so I stumble. I
You think
stumble
they're
a lot.
hiding? They think they're trying to hide stuff from you?
I don't think I don't want to be naive to say my kids aren't.
Okay.
I don't think they are. There's pretty innocent stuff on my kid's phone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think kids are smarter than us when it comes to technology, and I think there's probably stuff out there that
Yeah.
we're not aware of.
They're on the dark.
But you have to at least try to.
Otherwise, how would
be-
they come up with a Kool-Aid challenge? Have you
Oh,
seen that
come
one?
on. I saw that, too. That's insane.
I saw the headline of
Busting
it. but-
through
but
the
what's-
fences.
What is it?
What is it?
You know the white plastic fences that people put up, 6-foot fences
Yeah.
that are now solid,
The PVC
vinyl
stuff,
or
yeah.
whatever they are.
You run through it?
The challenge is to run through it, like the Kool-Aid thing comes
Yeah,
through
like the
the
Kool-Aid
wall.
guy.
And
That's exactly what the
they
challenge
call
is.
it the
But they-
Kool-Aid challenge. Kids video
they
themselves
must be
running
get-
through people's fences.
They must be getting
but they're
hurt.
not their fence.
Yeah, well, of course
They
not.
just run through the
So
fence.
how
Right.
how pissed are you as a homeowner?
man,
That's
those
an
things-
Well, the guy on the
expensive
news last night
panel.
was very pissed.
Yeah.
Wow.
But this goes
Alright.
back to the parents.
is-
like, I hate to
this-
keep saying that. I'm probably setting myself for a
It does
lawsuit at some point.
because
But
you know and this one's specific to TikTok, like so many of those. You know, eating the Tide Pods and stuff like that. It really comes down to why in God's name does any human being in this country use TikTok? Why?
you don't need it.
I mean, yeah, they even advertise now because I guess they've been affected in their
Yeah,
volume
but
of
TikTok
business.
advertise about. Well, we use it
with
for
a farmer.
whatever. Yeah, it's
talking
great for my
about his-
business.
Talking
kind of
about
thing.
his farm.
Yeah.
But the junk that is on
Yeah.
TikTok is amazing to me, and I'm sorry, I truly believe the conspiracy theorists on this one. This is China collecting information about
Oh,
the United
I
States
agree
in
with
order
that.
to undermine it. And when
Oh,
you think
yeah.
about the fact that the number of Chinese who are coming into this country as undocumented through Mexico after arriving in Peru, Colombia, and Venezuela, Peru and Colombia predominantly, they come over there, then they work their way up through Mexico, and they come into the United States. And between that and how China has infiltrated the universities in this country, I've heard too many people who lived through China's history talk about how we are moving closer and closer to what they went through in China in the 1960s in terms of just the country losing its direction and its sense of itself. And I attribute a lot of it to a purposeful effort by the Communist Chinese Party and the stupidity of people who will actually allow their children to go on TikTok.
All right. Who was talking about squatters earlier?
I
John
did
was-
mention it.
All right. Well,
John was squatting over
it's
there.
a group of squatters, including a group of squatters, have taken over a mansion in Los Angeles,
Eddie Murphy.
in the Hollywood Hills.
So mark
LA
that down on your calendar,
Yeah.
and in 3 years we can talk about how they were finally evicted.
Well, the LA Times says the multi-million-dollar home was being rented on Airbnb before being put up for sale, but real estate agents found the keys stolen out of the security box, and people were living on site. A woman found in the home was taken away by police, so they have gotten someone, but not before neighbors said someone threw very large parties over the holidays.
Isn't there a documentary coming out in the Providence Place Mall from squatters?
Oh
Wasn't
no,
this
the movie, the guy that lived inside the mall, he
Yeah.
had built up a wall and was
Yeah,
inside.
he's been living inside
under
Providence
some,
Place Mall.
Really?
he was
I didn't
on-
know
in-
that. I didn't
For
know
how
that.
long?
in the,
For a while- for
near the
un-
parking garage area, he had built up a space where he could live.
Yeah.
He was
and they'd
living.
sneak in and
He's
and
an
live
artist.
there at night for years.
Yeah.
The one,
free.
I read an
For free.
article. I read an article about a Boston couple yesterday that it took, I think it was 2 or 3 years to get rid of a tenant who refused to pay the rent. And it all got triggered by COVID. But then once they released the eviction restrictions, they went through the court process over and over and over again. And this was, they had bought a townhouse and then they were going to start a family, so they bought a house. They kept the townhouse to rent. First tenant they rented to got jammed up, didn't want to pay the rent, and then COVID hit. They couldn't evict. Then COVID's over. They can evict. They go to court. It cost them $80,000
That's ridiculous.
To get 'em out?
To get them out and to get the house emptied.
Clean it.
And people wonder why people don't want to be landlords anymore.
Yeah.
Or why the rents are so high.
Because the court, I mean, she was ordered by a court to pay the rent. She didn't. They go back to court. They tell the court she didn't pay the rent. The court says, okay, another month,
Pay the rent.
another month,
Yeah,
another month,
yeah,
another
yeah.
month. And it goes on for
Years.
I think it was like 3 years for this whole process. And they finally got her out. And of course, when they walked into the house,
It's a wreck.
it was
Did they have to forcibly take her out? That's what I was.
no.
wondering. People are
No,
gonna be like,
she
I'm not
actually,
leaving.
She actually
Take me
did.
out.
In this case, she left. But she used, there's always an excuse. Oh, my husband's been ill. Oh,
yeah, the
absent
kids.
father, and the child is going to be traumatized, and yada, yada, yada.
And the dog. And,
Always
I think that's what, going back to
Terrible.
your comment about the 3-family home in Central Falls for $800,000, I think that's what shocks me is who wants to be a landlord anymore, right? Like I have several friends that have sold off their multifamilies that they've had for the last 25 years, sold them off because they just don't want to deal with the legalities anymore.
In the article about the affordable housing problem, there was interviews with people, some of whom simply leave apartments empty
Yep.
because they don't
It's
they
not
don't
worth
want
it.
to rent.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
so
Yeah.
it is the liberals have made, and I have to call them liberals because that's what this is. This is the progressives. They're getting laws passed that protect the tenants so much that
the
if
landlord
you
has
get a
no
bad
right.
tenant, you just won't be able to get rid of them until they destroy your house.
Right.
And they'll defend it as, well, they're a minority of people. Yeah, they are. Except, it's like a lottery. There's a better chance of winning that lottery and getting the destructive one than there is of winning the real lottery.
Okay. Moving on. Next story. Sorry if you're a customer of Family Dollar. This may make your skin crawl. Family Dollar stores will pay a $40 million fine. They pled guilty to unsanitary conditions in a rodent-infested warehouse. The FDA in February of 2022 reported finding over 1,000 rats inside the West Memphis, Arkansas warehouse, which caused a recall of products from over 400 stores.
And that's why you wash the tops of all
cans, yeah.
before you take anything out.
That is
The
so
fine is part of a plea deal and is the largest monetary criminal penalty ever given in a food safety case. Family Dollar must now meet safety standards for the next 3 years. I don't know what happens after 3 years. They don't have to anymore.
Hire some rats.
Such an easy problem to solve. Just
Get a cat.
get about a dozen cats
Some of those rats
yeah.
are bigger than cats.
and big litter boxes.
Yeah.
Cats and rats and elephants.
teeth are
Sure
a
as
little
big one.
sharper. Ooh,
That's
gross.
And rats multiply quickly.
Yes, they do.
Like bunnies.
I think they're faster. So it probably only took months to get to 1,000.
yeah.
I guess I'm not a fan at all of rats, but
Oh,
I
no?
was bracing myself for you to say, there was a cockroach infestation. I think that there's that's grosser to me.
Cockroaches,
Just knowing
like
how
rats?
fast they can multiply, they
Yeah.
bury within cardboard boxes. So when you say that they're being shipped out of this
Yeah.
warehouse, you're not shipping rats along with those
Yes.
items, but you
Probably
would be
not.
shipping cockroaches. So
Yeah.
I feel maybe better about your story when I think
we
of
had
it that
mi-
way.
We
All
had
right.
mice in my house this winter, and we had to call somebody to help us get rid of it. But there was one where we were emptying the closet out of all of the food because we know that the mouse was getting into different things, and so we empty out the whole closet and there's countertop stuff, and I go to open a box in the morning, and there goes the mouse.
Oh my God!
Nice.
I can't.
Middle of the night, 2 nights ago, all I heard is this. In my ceiling,
squirrel.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
no, it's a mouse.
it's
Mouse?
They
Yeah,
get
so
in
I
the
gotta,
walls.
I gotta go up there and I got the
Usually
mouse
s-
poison thrown in
usually
the
s-
attic. And,
Usually squirrels go up into the attic and
Oh,
make
then
all
you got
kinds
the
of
dreaded
noise.
smell because you
right,
you
it's
can tell
like
when
a
it's
musty
working.
smell. Yeah.
All right. To finish things up, and no surprise here, really, Kellogg's CEO Gary Pilnick has an answer to the rising food prices. You should eat cereal for dinner.
I saw that stuff.
There you go. No more steak and fish.
What a maroon.
You go
Eat
buy a
cereal.
box.
Have
Go
you
buy
seen
a
how expensive cereal is? It's
$5
$5,
and $6 a box.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, people should eat cereal for dinner to save money on soaring food
Still
costs.
inexpensive per calorie.
He
Right.
told CNBC last week that it's much more affordable and helps out when consumers are under pressure. Kellogg's has been pushing cereal for dinner since 2022 when it started a campaign with the tagline, quote, "Give chicken the night off."
You know what? You buy a chicken, you let them lay the eggs, you have eggs for dinner, and then when you're really out of eggs, you just use the chicken.
All right.
That was a dietary recommendation from my doctor recently. Actually, was to
Cereal?
have like a pasta-based, like heartier meal for lunch, and then
Yes.
evening a small bowl of cereal for your dinner.
I don't know about a bowl of cereal, but
Small
That's
bowl.
I mean, I didn't
That's what
follow the
Kellogg's
advice.
is.
I'm just letting you
I
know.
think that
But
I think that's really more about fewer people are eating cereal for breakfast
Oh, you think so?
and realizing that it's
His sales are
predominantly
down?
sugar and preservatives.
yeah, it's
Right.
not
And
really.
it's not really healthy food, so they're not eating as much of it. So he's looking to find a way to market more,
possible.
Oh, sure.
and so no.
Yeah,
I said, grab your Cheerios. I said, oops, that's not Kellogg's.
No.
Bran flakes.
Oh,
Yum, yum.
shredded wheat.
Ah, good stuff.
I
All
love
right.
mini wheats.
No, shredded
Oh,
wheat. The
yeah,
big
well,
blocks that you break
Little-
up and throw
well,
in milk.
mini wheats are still the.
You want the frosted one on one side?
Yeah, a little
and-
bit, a
and-
little
and-
strawberry.
Well, that I would take.
A
I would
little
do that.
That's
dipped
okay.
in
That's
strawberry.
okay.
Mhm.
Have you seen the one like the what's supposed to be the healthy cereals that are on the other side of the Fruit Loops
Like
aisle?
Mucilix and whatever.
Like
those are.
Mucilix, like
Ugh.
that. And I actually tried
Nuts
one.
and berries. Twigs.
And it was supposed to taste like chocolate, and
Yeah.
it just tasted like tree bark. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like stuff is awful.
Awful.
It's supposed to be better for you, and I said, well, that's enough of that. I mean, I powered through my 6 bowls that I had to get through to eat it, but okay, we're never buying this again. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much, everyone. Tim Draper, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, everybody. Remember, March 14th.
All right, and Melissa Smith, thanks for coming in.
Good to see you.
And John Ward.
I
thanks for
eat
coming
that kind of cereal. You know how I eat it? I put a couple of spoonfuls in a container of yogurt,
in. Oh, do you?
and it's pretty good.
Is it?
You don't notice the cereal, but you're getting it.
And it's healthier than granola because granola is actually very
Bingo.
not healthy for you. So it is.
Yes.
I agree with John.
But
Okay.
everybody go out there and enjoy the God-given day.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Enjoy yourself today. Try to stay out of the rain. And stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do your members coming your way at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Rhode Island state lawmakers are considering changing the name of a holiday that is celebrated only in Rhode Island. Yes, Victory Day. It's been a target for renamers for a number of years. Was established back in 1948 as a state holiday and is celebrated on the second Monday in August. It commemorates the end of the Second World War and honors the approximately 92,000 Rhode Islanders who served and 2,200 who died. Representative Jennifer Stewart picked up the torch this year, and her legislation would change the name to, quote,